Here at the Subotica railway station in northern Serbia, the air is electric. Crowds line the platform, waving national flags and cheering as a sleek silver train glides into view. Cameras flash, children climb onto their parents' shoulders for a better look. When the doors open, the president of Serbia steps out, smiling proudly. With excitement in his voice, he announces something few thought possible. From today onward, the journey from Belgrade to Subotica will no longer take over 5 hours. It will take just 79 minutes. For most Serbians, this moment feels historic, almost unbelievable. Generations grew up with slow, outdated trains and endless delays, but now, a new chapter is unfolding. This high-speed rail line, built by a Chinese company, isn't just the first of its kind in Serbia. It's the first high-speed railway China has ever built in Europe. At the start, many said it couldn't be done. They claimed China's rail technology would never pass Europe's strict standards. Others argued the project would collapse under political pressure or financial risk. Yet, after 8 years of work, that train you see pulling into the station is proof they were wrong. This is more than just a train, it's a symbol of ambition, perseverance, and changing global power dynamics. So, how did this seemingly impossible project become a reality? What challenges did the engineers face, and what does it mean for Europe's future? The moment China entered Europe's infrastructure market, the spotlight turned harsh. The Hungary-Serbia railway wasn't just a construction project anymore. It was a political test, a technical challenge, and a diplomatic tightrope walk all at once. Since Hungary is a member of the European Union, every part of the project had to follow the EU's strict rules on transparency, environmental impact, and procurement. In 2017, things came to a standstill when the European Commission launched an investigation into the project. The reason? Officials claimed that such a massive public works project needed to go through open international bidding, and they suspected that Hungary had sidestepped the process. For months, work on the Hungarian section was frozen. Media outlets began to question whether the entire railway would ever be completed. Some even called it China's European dream derailed. But instead of retreating, the Chinese engineering team and their Serbian partners decided to face the challenge head-on. They went back to the drawing board, not to rebuild the tracks, but to re-engineer the paperwork, systems, and certifications needed to satisfy the EU's demanding standards. In Belgrade, China set up a high-speed rail control system laboratory, dedicated to ensuring every component met Europe's interoperability requirements, essentially proving that Chinese trains could speak the same language as European ones. It wasn't easy. The team had to complete over 2,000 individual technical tests, covering everything from communications and signaling to braking systems and power supplies. Each system had to be tested, documented, and retested under EU supervision. But gradually, progress came. By the time the testing phase ended, the Chinese side had successfully obtained 71 key European certifications. First step off fair for Cyberfronts. For Chinese high-speed rail, this breakthrough meant that China's technology had officially earned its passport into Europe. The project, once dismissed as unrealistic, was now legally and technically greenlit. Construction restarted. Engineers returned to the field. The dream of a high-speed link through the Balkans was alive again. And a few years later, that dream finally took shape on the tracks of northern Serbia. After years of challenges, inspections, and relentless work, the Hungary-Serbia Railway finally began to show real results. In March 2022, the first major section, from Belgrade to Novi Sad, officially opened to the public. For many Serbians, it was the first time they'd ever experienced true high-speed travel. The transformation was staggering. Before the upgrade, the journey between the two cities took over 90 minutes. Now, sleek white trains cover the same distance in just 30 minutes, cruising smoothly at 200 kilometers per hour. Suddenly, a trip that once felt like a small expedition had become a quick commute. Every day, around 62 trains run along this route. Kritaunin, Engshur Oren, Inschraunden Duren, Korban Divobern, Tant, Bob Bofuber, Puritor, Insuverins, Sedabatum Savan Novertramium Bracin, Pedawai Dupar Bon, Insurin Stamber, some of 4 million passengers per year. In total, over 12 million passengers have already used this section since it opened. Proof that the demand was always there, just waiting for the right infrastructure to catch up. But the railway's impact goes far beyond numbers. For ordinary people, it's a change that can be felt in daily life. One teacher from Novi Sad, for example, used to spend nearly 3 hours every day commuting to Belgrade and back. Now, she does the same trip in under an hour. "It's like I've gained 2 extra hours of life every day," she told reporters, time she now spends with her child instead of sitting on a slow train. Local economies are feeling the shift too. Real estate agents in Novi Sad have noticed a 30% increase in property inquiries from people working in Belgrade but wanting to live in quieter suburbs along the high-speed corridor. Businesses along the route are expanding, tourism is picking up, and freight companies are seeing faster turnaround times for goods moving between cities. Then, in October 2025, another milestone arrived. The completion of the Novi Sad Subotica section, marking the full operation of the Serbian part of the Hungary-Serbia railway. Travel time from Belgrade to Subotica was slashed from over 5 hours to just 79 minutes. At the grand opening, Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić took the inaugural ride himself and proudly declared, "The era of Serbia's first high-speed railway has arrived." The dream had finally become a reality. But as the train sped across Serbia's northern plains, a much bigger picture was starting to take shape, one that reached far beyond Serbia's borders. While Serbia celebrated its first high-speed railway, China was looking at a much bigger picture. This project wasn't just about connecting Belgrade and Budapest, it was a cornerstone in a grander vision, linking China's trade routes all the way to the heart of Europe. The idea dates back to 2014, during a major meeting between China and the leaders of Central and Eastern European countries. There, the prime ministers of China, Hungary, Serbia, and North Macedonia proposed something truly ambitious, a high-speed rail corridor that would stretch even further south, eventually connecting to the port of Piraeus in Greece. Why Piraeus? Because this port isn't just any harbor, it's a strategic gateway to Europe. Located on the Mediterranean coast, it serves as a key link between Asia, the Middle East and North Africa. In 2016, a Chinese company acquired a 51% stake in the port for about €280 million, later increasing its share to 67% by 2021. Under Chinese management, the port of Piraeus skyrocketed in importance, becoming the largest container port in the Mediterranean and the 4th largest in all of Europe. Now, combine that port with the Hungary-Serbia railway, and you start to see the strategy unfold. Cargo ships from China can dock in Piraeus, unload their goods, and within days, instead of weeks, those containers can travel north by train through Greece, North Macedonia, and Serbia, finally reaching Budapest and the rest of Central Europe. This system, often called the China-Europe Land-Sea Express Line, acts like a steel spine running up the Balkans, creating a fast, stable, and efficient trade corridor. For landlocked countries like Serbia and Hungary, it's a lifeline, giving them direct access to the Mediterranean and boosting their trade potential like never before. But the project also carries deeper geopolitical weight. To some European policymakers, this railway represents a shift in influence, a sign that China's Belt and Road Initiative is moving beyond Asia and embedding itself within Europe's infrastructure. Supporters see it as a win-win for growth and connectivity. Critics, however, worry that it could increase dependency on Chinese investment and tilt regional politics. Whatever side you take, one thing is clear: the Hungary-Serbia Railway is no longer just a local project, it's a vital link in the global competition for connectivity. And a glimpse into how 21st century power is being built, not through armies or speeches, but through steel, speed, and rail lines. From a century-old single-track line built in 1882 to a state-of-the-art high-speed railway connecting Serbia and soon Hungary, this project tells a story much larger than trains and travel times. It's about vision, persistence, and how nations adapt, in an age defined by speed and connection. For Serbia, the new railway is a leap into the future, one that saves people hours every day, revitalizes towns, and links communities that were once divided by slow and unreliable transport. For China, it marks a historic breakthrough, the first time its high-speed rail technology has not only entered Europe, but passed its strictest certifications and proven itself on European soil. And for Europe as a whole, it's a sign of change. A reminder that global cooperation, even when fraught with politics and skepticism, can produce tangible results that transform daily life. With the cross-border connection to Budapest expected to be completed in 2026, travel between the two capitals will drop from 9 hours to just 3, turning what used to be an all-day trip into a quick, effortless ride. Yet beyond speed and efficiency lies something even more powerful: connection. Every bridge, every tunnel, and every kilometer of this railway represents a link between people, economies, and ideas. It shows that in a world divided by politics, technology and progress can still bring nations closer together. So the next time you see a high-speed train racing across the Serbian plains, remember, it's not just moving passengers, it's carrying decades of effort, cooperation, and determination. And this is only the beginning. More lines are being planned, more cities are joining the network, and more nations are realizing the power of connection. If you'd like to keep exploring how massive infrastructure projects like this are reshaping our world, from Europe's railways to Asia's ports and Africa's new highways, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for the next story. Because the world of tomorrow is already being built today. One track, one train, and one bold idea at a time.